Tonight, our jurors are going on a field trip. Plus, Mark takes down a detective who wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. Plus, we have Jay Alex in the building. This is the All Rise After Show.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. If you are watching and listening, then you know this is the All Rise After Show. And today we have Mr. Jay Alex in the building. He is the bailiff and law student that we all love. He plays Luke on our beloved show, and he is here to talk about the show with us. We're going to talk about Dillon Frank's case, Trevor Maddox's case, Emily and Luke, because we always talk about them. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk to him about what he's got going on, and we just going to go with the flow on this one because, like I said, we got a guest, and he's ready to talk about the show just like we are. But before we do it, what do we think of the episode today? And don't lie just because he's here. We're going to all tell the truth about what we think.
Tell the truth.
I mean, I say this every week. This was such a great episode, and this was a great episode. I'm just happy that Emily finally came to her senses because we all knew it. We all knew that Emily and Luke were going to be a thing, and they're just getting closer and closer. So yes. I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm team Emuk.
Lemily.
Lemily.
I like Lemily. That's going to stick.
Yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah, that's trending.
What you think, Zuri?
I liked this episode. We were talking earlier about I didn't know you can actually take the jury out. So it's a little school lesson. But I like this episode.
Yeah, it was cool.
What did you think? It's your show, but you can be honest.
It was fire.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
It was fire. You brought the heart, man. It was like, ooh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good episode. I even kind of shed a little tear.
You saw me. I had to fan myself.
I was like, look at them trying to pull some emotions out of me. Look at there. Well, like we mentioned, it's a really good episode, so we're going to dig right on into it. We're going to talk about this Dillon Frank case first. He's on trial for aiding and abetting. It seems like what went down is his friend killed someone and they're trying to bring him down with him. But from what we see, he's innocent. And of course, they never believe black men or any man of color is innocent. So they're going through the whole trial, and they decide to do a jury view, which I didn't know was a thing until today, where they basically took the jury to the site and was like, this is what happened. You put yourself in this position and see what could possibly be the thing. Have y'all ever heard of that? Like, what did you guys think of this jury view?
Like Zuri said, I didn't even know that was possible. So I definitely learned something new, and I feel like every week I learned something new. But what was interesting to me is how that whole thing played out. I think that when they had, the lockdown, to me, I was just like, see, they gonna switch. So this episode really had me on my toes because I was worried that their thoughts would be shifted because of what was going on. I thought that they would have thought that somebody was trying to get, what's the gentleman's name? Dillon. I thought I felt like they were trying to think that somebody was trying to get him, and so I felt like that they would have been persuaded, if that makes sense.
Okay. What about you, Zuri?
I was saying I couldn't believe that you can actually go to the site. Jay was sharing earlier that was like the OJ case, but I feel like I was really young during the OJ case, so I would have liked to see it live. But I thought, like, I'm really a tangible kind of person. Like, what else is there to just talk about after we already sat here and didn't hear the gunshots? Like, case closed, where's the confusion? But when I saw the lady on the bench kind of having a moment, I was like, oh my goodness. How dare you?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
So when you guys watch the show, do you enjoy learning about the judicial system and how it works and like those kind of intricacies?
For sure.
I would fall asleep in class, so.
Yeah.
Social studies, you were like.
I feel like every episode, it's always something where I'm like, can they do that? This happens? And this was definitely the case with the jury view. I know you had already talked about the OJ case, but when you were shooting the show, were you like, oh gosh, I didn't know this was a thing? How did you feel when you found out you were doing it?
We're really fortunate because we have legal advisors. So all of the episodes are developed with, real lawyers. And
nice.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's all realistic.
Nice.
Yeah. The cases they're so they're so great, but I feel like a lot of the time they're so relatable.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of different people's experiences. I'm glad that they actually touch on the type of topics that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that at the heart and the core of the show.
Yeah.
You know, we want it to be authentic. We want it to be human. We want it to be relevant
Yeah.
for now, right?
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Absolutely.
While they were on the site, it just so happened that there was an active shooter on the site. And the first thing people thought is, did he set it up? Now, when I was watching it, that was like the one thing that didn't cross my mind. I wouldn't have initially just thought, oh, he must have something to do with it. But when you all were watching it, did you think that? Did you think it could have had something to do with him? Or was it just a coincidence?
That never crossed my mind either. I don't even think it would have made sense to shoot up your own, like, situation that's trying to prove you, like, to be the person that you say you are. Like, to me, it doesn't really make much sense, but I can see, like, throughout the show why they would think that.
If you were in that situation, though, right, perspective is so relevant, right? Because, okay, you're locked in this warehouse in the dark with a so-called murderer, right? How would you feel if it's like helicopters going, you know, what would that make you feel?
Yeah.
I feel like in 2019, it's kind of like a thing with active shooters. Like, I feel like I was like, oh, what a coincidence.
What a coincidence, right? It wasn't him. It was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would think, you know, we're all here with a bunch of cops. So why would, like you said, why would I set this up right now with all these cops here? I'm already on trial and I'm trying to get off. So why would I set this up right at this very moment? Or I think for me, the first thing that would come to mind is not that he set it up, but maybe somebody who is involved in his circle is like, oh, he could be trying to put somebody down. Let me put them in a situation where, you know, it can mess everything up.
I was going to say that only because I'm not sure if I missed this, but I wrote down that his friend Chris is the one that actually killed someone. So the whole time when he was out, at the scene and at the end, I thought that somebody was gonna shoot him because Tekashi 6ix9ine is in my head right now. This whole snitching thing, so I'm just like, okay, is somebody gonna try to come after him? That's what I thought. So I figured that he'd be the one to get shot or something.
I saw that at the end when they were on, like, the steps, because that scene was, like, kind of long, and I'm like, oh my gosh, anticipation's building up.
Right, it seemed like they were kind of saying goodbye, like he about to go.
Wow. It's so amazing to hear your perspective, you know, on the show. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Because, you know, I'm always with, you know, the team and the creators, and but it's so cool to get real feedback. We just watched it, and that visceral experience of, you know.
Yeah.
You watched the episode with us today. Was this your first time watching it since you filmed it, or have you seen all these episodes already?
I have seen this episode, a different version. So, you know, the edit is a little different, the music is a little different. But I've seen,
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's really cool. It's a different experience to see it live.
Okay.
You know, it's a different experience to see the commercials and, like, it's on TV. You know, it's a different vibe.
I always wonder with actors, you know, they're playing a part, but, like, is it possible to step away from that part and when you rewatch it to see it from a different perspective, and has that happened to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In the moment, it's my job to kind of breathe life in that moment, you know, to kind of like bloop, drop it there. But then I'm out, you know, after that. Then my job is done in that moment. So I'm actually viewing it and experiencing it with you. You know, sometimes it's hard to watch yourself as an actor, but I'm trying to kind of just let that go and experience with you as a viewer. You know.
Got it. Well, because of what went down and the woman going to Judge Carmichael and being, look, I think he may have set this up. She realized, oh, maybe we need to get some jurors out of here or figure out what we're going to do about this. They ended up getting rid of 2 and bringing in other alternates. Do you think that was the best idea, or do you think she should have just scratched the case altogether, or should she just have left the jurors as they were? Do you think it really made a difference?
I wrote down, throw the whole jury away.
Wow. You're like, get them out of there.
Well, after
Get
the
them out of there.
first guy, and he was talking about my ex-wives, and I was like, oh no, he's not with us. He can't be on the stand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seemed like that they were all pretty fearful and they were blaming him. So I felt the same way. Like they seen a whole new jury, but I love how I just can appreciate how she handles things. I feel like she's always trying to do the right thing. So I love her as a judge. Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because y'all know my complicated relationship with Judge Carmichael and how I feel like sometimes she don't be doing her job.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
The whole time I watch her, I'm thinking, well, it seemed like she already kind of got in her mind what she thinks happened or who she's kind of rooting for in the case. And I know she's not the one making the decision, the jury is. But do you think that's the right thing as a judge? Because it kind of can make you biased in the way that you approach the moves that you make. Like, even in her, you know, replacing the jurors, like, yeah, she wants it to be fair, but it also seems like she was setting it up for him to still get off, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's kind of like that every episode, though.
Yeah, I know.
but it's nice because I feel like that there's so many like corrupt people out there. It just kind of I feel like it really shines this light on judges and makes you feel like, okay, there are great judges out there.
I think she's always rooting for the underdog, and I think she's always willing to put her neck out there and say, like, if bad things happen, I went out with the right intentions.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for Judge Carmichael because she's usually on the good side. But what if there's judges out there who are like that, but they're always on the bad side? And are they people twisting around court cases for what they feel? And is that the right thing to do?
For sure.
That's kind of scary.
It is.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay?
Well, I just had a question. I'm going to answer your question, but I have a question. So, you feel like Judge Carmichael should fail more? Do you feel like she should fail more, or she should have trouble? Do you think that you should see her struggling more with what she should decide about the case? Like, do you feel like she like you said, she knows what her perspective is instantly? Do you feel like she should take more time to discover what it should be? Is that what you're asking?
I that's why I said it's kind of a complicated relationship, because it's like, usually I'm on her side, so I want it to go down that way. But then I think about judges who aren't always on the side of right, and it's like, well, judges shouldn't have that thought or capability when they go into a case anyway. And I know that's hard because everybody has instincts, but I feel like you should kind of just be more in the middle, be more neutral about it instead of kind of leading either way.
So I think, and I'm obviously not a lawyer.
Are you sure?
I'm an artist playing, an
artiste.
Anyway, yeah. So that's where the defense and the prosecution comes in, because it's the judge listening to the argument. This is what the prosecution is saying. This is what the defense is saying, and it's the judge looking at that information and taking the law and trying to interpret it based on their arguments. So, I think it depends on the people that are arguing. Yeah. And that's where it really makes a difference if you have a good lawyer or not, because how they argue, the techniques that they use, will skew the judge and the jury.
Are you sure you're not a lawyer?
No.
Yeah. Well, they ended up getting the alternates, and the case went on, and he ended up being found not guilty. Yes. Was anybody a little concerned that wasn't going to happen? Because I was kind of scared.
I was a little scared, for sure. Especially go ahead.
I feel like I was only scared because I feel like on this panel we've talked about waiting to see one of Lola's cases fail, and I was like, I would hate for it to be this one.
Why is that? Why for this one?
I think I was emotionally invested.
Yeah.
I felt it.
In Dillon.
Dillon.
Why?
I think being at the wrong place at the wrong time is a 50-50 chance for anybody.
Yeah. Right. And I just love seeing people be able to get a second chance. He had been in trouble before, but he was really trying to turn his life around. He was in school. He was working to be in school, and he just needed a break and a chance. So it would have been really sad to see him lose that over something that we think he didn't even do.
That's cool.
I mean, they kind of proved it though. He's innocent.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You never know in court. All right, let's get into Trevor Maddox's case. So they're trying to take down this person in a heroin drug ring. He gets I guess, charged, and he has a $1.5 million bail. And they were able to do all that because there was this confidential informant. And they found that through Detective Leland. And our girl, Judge Carmichael, was like, you need to check her because she's half-assed, basically. She cuts corners. So you need to look into this. And Mark realizes that it's actually all a lie. Now, I kind of went back and forth with this because it's like, okay, you know they're lying, but that lie could put this huge guy who's been dealing this drug ring in jail, or you can call her out like he did for lying. You lose Mabbitt and aren't able to put him in jail, and you just kind of pissed off this detective. How did you all feel about that, though? Did you feel like he should have just kept on with the lie, or should he have done what he did?
Well, I think in the underlying lesson in the show is being on the side of justice. So I think
being on
that,
the side of justice.
Yeah, so I feel like, and like they say, you can always catch Mabbitt another way. He's a professional, like, drug dealer, so he's always in the wrong. So although it took some time to catch him this time, he can catch him next time. But to have this lady, well, this woman, Leland, in the force, she's like a cancer. It's only gonna, this keeps happening. Well, it's our second time, and we're not even past episode 6, so yeah. You got to get her out of there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was going to actually say, didn't we already see her? Didn't we already know she was a little corrupted? I even wrote down, don't trust her. So I understand like what you're saying. I think that it's great that he wanted to do the right thing, but there is going to be another way. He's going to be able to get Mabbitt another way.
But we don't know if there's another way. And that was my thing. It's like, what if you never take him down and you had the opportunity to take him down, but you decide to take down Leland anyway?
Well, my thing is, I guess I'm thinking, like, look, I know this is a show, but still, there's a lot of people like that. And I think with them even going back into her file and looking at all the other cases, it makes me think, okay, what if she's doing the wrong thing with with innocent people? I think just kind of investigating her and putting that at a stop, I think that right now, to me, that would be important. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, say this was like a rape case and she was on there. You don't want her evidence to not be credible. So it's like, if I have to lose a guy from heroin in the event that there was like a deeper case happening and you were to have false evidence, I would rather have taken her out now than that happened in the long run.
Good point. What you thinking? I feel like
I think I'm gonna go with Zuri.
Okay.
What she said.
Yeah. Win on the macro. Win the war, lose the battle. I think.
Okay. So do we think that he's gonna come back up again? Because this is one of the only cases we've seen so far where it didn't close in that episode.
Yeah, there's been a couple other ones like that too. I think he'll probably come back around for sure.
I don't think so. I feel like this was much more about Leland than it was about him. So, yeah, I don't think we'll see him again.
Does he come back?
Hey, I don't write the show. I don't know.
Okay. Well, all right, you don't know.
I just wanted to mention something. Logan Knight, I want to let you know that you are his favorite character, and he said you seem like a really cool dude.
Logan, man, we appreciate you, bro. All rise, man.
All right, before we go into something that you should know about, which is Emily and Luke, Zuri, do you have a message for our viewers?
I do. Hey, guys, I want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a 5 stars on iTunes if you listen to us on the podcast. Leave us some comments. I always actually go back and, like, chat with people. So, leave us some comments. We're all on other after shows, so be sure to follow us on social media so you can catch up on other after shows, as well as Jay here, so you can get the behind the scenes scoops. I know they're still filming. So, yeah, stay tuned.
Yes. If you're watching right now, we're in the live chat. We see all your comments. You want Jay to know something. You want us to know something. Let us know. We see it. And we're going to talk back to you. All right, so now we're going to talk about Emily and Luke.
Emily and Luke.
Because
what did we say was trending on Twitter?
Limely.
Let's talk about Limely.
Limely. Yes, it just rolls off the tongue.
I love it.
So y'all have been like a topic every single week because y'all have been playing with our emotions for like the last 4 weeks. But we finally saw an admittance of feelings. Now, know, you are Luke, basically.
I'm Jay. I play Luke. But yes, go ahead.
Luke.
No, go ahead.
So playing Luke and being Luke, how has he kind of been feeling leading up to this point? Does he feel like us, like, why are you playing with this man? Or does he know that she wants to be with him and that she's just not ready?
You know, I think he's been watching her for a while, and I think he knows how sensitive it is. You know, with relationships, it's very painful getting in and out of relationships sometimes. And I think he's a patient guy. I think, you know, he wants it. He's young, like we all want it now. But I think he's smarter than that. You know what I mean? I think he understands that, you know, wealth is acquired over time. Like, you got to be patient. You know what I mean?
It's a chess, not checkers kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or he's plotting.
He's plotting.
Is that what guys do?
Oh, he's definitely plotting.
Is that what guys do? They just stand on the side and plot?
Hey, it depends what kind of guy you are. You know what I mean? I'm more aggressive. So, you know, Jay is way more aggressive. Like, I would have been done. Like, if the first time I asked if she was like, no, I'd be like, I'll give it 2 more, and then I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm moving on.
I like the Luke approach better. You got to be patient with me.
Yeah. All right.
What are we thinking, ladies? Are we happy, or are we like, ugh?
No, I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm just glad that she finally came to terms, because before I feel like that she was kind of going back and forth. And then last week, I think we thought they were going to have their kiss. So,
yeah.
I'm happy she finally came around, because I was getting a feel that Luke was going to just be over it, and then we would have had to watch her chase him, and that would have been painful.
Wow.
So
now, what would have been painful about that?
Because I don't even think she has the skill to, like, chase. Like, I haven't seen it. Like, I don't.
Wow.
Lexi, I wrote down something for you, actually. I said, Lexi, did she win her own case?
Ooh, I think she did. Okay, for context, I had been saying that she kind of just lucks up into her wins. Like, the first episode, Luke basically won that case.
Okay.
And that kind of has been the thing. But I think she got it this time. It was her idea about the field trip, right? That's what got it.
Yeah, that's why I said what I said. I feel like I don't know that she has it in her, because this is our first time seeing her win her own case. So
you don't know if she has the fight.
Don't know if she had the fight.
She kind of had to chase him last week, though, because he was upset about the whole police thing, and he wasn't really fooling
That's
with
a
her
good
that
point.
week. Yeah.
That's
I think that was
point.
a glimpse that he could be done with her, and she
And
could
that's
have to
probably
chase.
why. Yeah, she saw in the last episode, or I guess on the show weeks or whatever before, like, oh, maybe he ain't feeling me because I kind of had to chase him. So I kind of need to show him how I'm feeling before I lose him. Is that what you think?
Maybe. You guys are way more intelligent. Y'all know this stuff way better than I do. Yeah.
Speaking of the last episode, let's just talk about it since you're here, because that was a big episode for you.
Yeah.
Tell me how you were feeling shooting that episode in that scene with the police, especially with everything going on in our, culture today in our society.
Yeah.
That was heavy.
It was heavy. You know, as an artist, I try to bring myself to the work. And I think that it's got to be painful. It's got to be honest. And so, yeah, I tried to bring real pain, real emotion. Those aren't fake emotions. And, yeah, I just wanted it to be honest. You know what I mean?
I have a question. So I know, like, a lot of actors, when they play, like, heavy, deep roles, it's hard to get out of character when they experience something that could be a real situation.
Absolutely.
So did you have, like, any complications or any, like, afterthoughts when you had to, like, leave Luke that day and, like, go back to being Jay, but you're also still a person that this could easily happen to? How was that?
So that's a great question. It's like, I have so many things to say to answer that question. That's such a loaded question. So one, I was very, very fortunate to train at a really, really great school. And so we learned different techniques to allow those emotions and that energy of the character to flow out of our body. One. Two, the pain is always there. The anger is always there. The frustration is always there. But it's about bringing it down to a safe level. So it never leaves, you know what I mean? But I have to learn as an artist when the lion comes out, or when the dove comes out, or when the mockingbird comes out, and then when it doesn't. But, you know, it's crazy because my girl's here. And, you know, she can attest that, you know, sometimes I do a better job at it and sometimes I don't. You know, and I remember doing a play in Philly and, you know, I had this huge, heavy emotional scene and I would come off and I would be very agitated and irritable and just, like, not fun as Jay. But it's just the work, you know, of the artist to go there. You know, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah. And you did that.
Yeah, you did.
Did that.
Thank you.
Yes,
it was
yes,
really
yes.
cool to see how much people connected and so many messages from young black men saying, hey man, thank you. Hey man, thank you. Like that's you played it so well. It's exactly how I feel or how I felt, you know?
Yeah. And what I also think is beautiful about that scene, and not just the way you portrayed it, it was just the fact that this was on CBS.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've looked at CBS's track record, but they just started getting a little colorful just in this last year. So for them to have a show like this on air, period, and still touch on issues like that, and issues like immigration and all the things we've seen so far in this on this show is just beautiful and showing that things are getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe not so much in our society, but at least with the portrayal of how we see it on TV so that things can be changed. So,
Are you guys familiar with Anthony Hemingway's work? The director of that episode?
oh, I didn't know he directed that episode,
He
but
did.
I love him.
And I wanted to just kind of do another little kudos to CBS. Like, they have been really bold in the investment to make it authentic, you know? They brought in Anthony, and, you know, he had actually experienced that. And so when we built that scene, you know, we talked about what happened. We talked about it. We let it breathe. We came back to it. Like, you know, and it was really important for him and us for it to be authentic and to feel real.
Nice.
And the officer, we have a technical advisor, but he's a real cop. So when he took me down, and that's real. Like, that's... Like, and one thing, I was like, bro, if you don't get off my arm, bro, like, that was actor Jay. But, like, he was real. It was real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, they invest, we invest heavily in making it authentic.
That's good.
It's a good return on the investment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Yes. So, go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you guys get a chance to, I don't know, bring different types of cases to, you know, to the directors or anything? Do you guys get any input?
We can, absolutely. You know, if they're, you know, our creative team is so amazing. If you know, want to talk to them, they're open, they're available. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And all the cases are based, okay, I shouldn't say all the cases are based on true events, but the majority, from my understanding, are based on real cases. Like, this is not, you know, like the shooting in the courtroom, like that was real. That happened. The case about what was the other case? Actually, let me not do this game right now because we're shooting 109 right now, so I'm like that case.
Oh
is
yeah,
like,
you about to give us
yeah,
some
like
spoilers.
because like 103, I'm like, you know what? But yeah, they are based on real cases.
Yeah, I think with every case, well, with most of them, I feel like I've always like got emotional or really felt, man, like this is insane. It's always made me feel something, especially with Emily's cases, because I feel like they're always so touching. Yes.
And
Yeah.
Jessica Camacho, she brings the heart and and the care to the work, you know, and the passion for what's right and for justice, you know.
Yeah.
She's perfect, you know.
Yeah.
So what is going on with Jay Alex?
Yeah.
We know you're on All Rise, but what's happening next? What are you working on now? What's
Yo,
going
I'm here.
on?
I'm here on AfterBuzz TV. We out here on these Hollywood streets. No, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just chilling. I'm just enjoying, you know, being able to do good work right now. You know, enjoying, you know, being able to show up, you know, and do good work, man.
Yeah.
You know, what's next? I don't know. I don't know.
No
You say you-
projects down the pike.
Maybe.
You know, can't put too much out there.
A few.
Good.
But right now, it's all Rise.
Yes.
You know?
Good.
Okay.
Good show to be on.
Right. It's such a great show. And you said that you're shooting episode 9 now.
We're shooting episode. We just finished 109. We're shooting 1010 tomorrow.
110.
Yeah. So we do an episode a week. So it's
Okay.
very, 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 very fast.
Oh, wow.
So the script came out yesterday. 109 came out. No, 110 came out yesterday. Then we start shooting tomorrow.
Nice.
Wow. And it takes a whole week to shoot one episode.
So we do 7 days. Yep, and then we all start 111.
Nice.
Wow.
And we'll get 111 next week, Monday or whatever.
Yes.
Tuesday.
Some long days.
Some long days.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this was so fun.
Yeah, thank you
for
guys for
coming
having
in
me.
and talking about the show with us.
Absolutely.
But before we go, let's do some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What are you thinking, T?
I still think, I think next episode, we're going to get a case from Emily that I think that they will, this is so far-fetched, but I think that we're going to get a case where the person's going to be possibly found guilty.
Okay.
I'm trying to switch it up a bit. I think we're gonna get there.
Okay.
That was my prediction.
Is that us secretly hoping they fail?
Well, I think we're getting closer and closer because I'm trying to think of every episode. Just even like this one, it had me on my toes. I thought Dillon was gonna be found guilty.
Yeah.
So I think maybe next episode we'll probably get that.
I think in probability, it's like 1 in 5, like 1 out of 5 chance. You know, it's
1 out of 5 for guilty,
failure.
For a failure.
Yeah.
I think probability wise.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would make it realistic. You can't win every case.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah. I think next week we're gonna see a lot more of Mark and his
Boo thing.
life outside of work, and
Okay.
it's not looking good.
Oh, you don't think it's gonna be good because of his dad or his girlfriend?
I think Mark, we've seen different facets of his life, and all of them have kind of just been a little rocky. Even the girlfriend, it was fine, but I wasn't sold.
Yeah,
I just wasn't.
because we all know that Mark and Lola have a thing.
Even today, they
Really?
Right? I mean, they're on this. I mean,
We
come
all
on.
know that.
We
eh?
all know that.
Well, the first week, news and gossip said that there would never be a thing, but somehow the panel is still secretly hoping there's a thing. But she said maybe we can get dinner at a secret place later. She said that this
Yeah.
episode, and I was
What
like,
secret place? Her house?
I know.
she got a real understanding husband, y'all.
Right.
Because she be with Mark day
Wait,
in and day
and
out.
Mark's girlfriend, I mean, even her leaving when Lola just popped up at the house with food, I'm just like, I'd be right there. Like,
Yeah.
hey, girl.
Hey, we all
Hey,
having
right, we all having pizza.
Okay, well, I think I'm predicting we're going to see some more of Lemily because I love them.
Lemily.
We finally going to
Hey.
get a kiss, y'all. I think
Hey.
it's
Finally.
coming.
I know when that happens, but I'm not saying it.
Tell us.
No. No spoilers.
Yeah, so more of Lemily. Maybe we'll see a case that doesn't go the way we expect it to, and then we'll see some sort of fallout of that. And I do actually think we're going to see Trevor Maddox's case come up again because
Same,
I
yeah.
feel like there needs to be some justice there. Now, you've seen most of the episodes, so you can't do a prediction, but can you tell us if we're close to what may happen? Are we hot or cold?
I think you guys are warm.
Okay.
I think you guys are
take
definitely
it.
We'll take
warm.
that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this wraps up our show. Jay, Alex, thank you so much for
Hey,
coming.
thank you
Yes,
guys
thank
for
you
having
This
so
me.
has
much.
been so
Yeah.
much fun. But before we get out of here, let the world know where they can find you. Social media.
Social media, yeah, Instagram, IG.
At-
Thank you.
What's
All
your
right.
name? Yeah, what's your name on Instagram?
Dallas Brinson. underscore. No.
What about y'all, ladies? Where can they find
You
you?
can find me at Zuri Shalise, ZuriChellece on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shantiera.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Lexi Fierce. That is IAMLEXIFIERCE. And until we meet again, bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.